मूवी नहीं चलना?
वो ब्रूनो बीमार है ना?
ब्रूनो बीमार है।
रोहित, आज ग्रुप स्टडी में नहीं जाना है?
आज गुरु से मिलना है।
गुरु?
So Rohit, all your concepts are clear?
यस सर।
अब बच्चे पढ़ाई करने के बहाने तो बनाएंगे ही, क्योंकि एक्स्ट्रा मार्क्स अचीव से लर्निंग होगी फन। डाउनलोड द ऐप नाउ।
But the topic you have given is so big. We cannot talk creativity, but we can definitely go round about it. Yes. Data on the news information on creativity, it was really scary. You have seen that the beautiful lecture by Sir Ken Robinson, School Kills Creativity. And we are all killers. And we also know how to stop it. So we should not teach, then creativity will not be killed. Now we are here to talk around creativity. There's a message, there is an information which says the child who is studying in grade 1 now should prepare for jobs which are not existing anymore. Are we ready for that? And the 2016 Economics Summit lays down the skills needed for them for the next 10 years. And these are all new skills, which we have not learned when we went to school, and which we are struggling to understand them. And we have got so many expectations. So where are we? Are we ready for it? Do we have the sufficient support, technology, and the training to reach there? So these are our topic for today. So my question is open, and anybody who wants to take up are free to do it. The great question, schools kill creativity. How do we stop killing?
Having spent almost 35 years as head of school or a teacher, I totally agree with you that schools do kill creativity. If somebody asked me, we are all school principals here, I look after a number of schools, and I would tell the parent quite openly, don't put your children into a school if you can tutor them at home. Yes, and that's a remark which nobody expects out of a person who has spent all your lifetime. My bread and butter was out of this industry. Well, I'll tell you why. Because when you see a small kid coming to the school at the beginning of nursery or class 1, whichever your school starts with, and you see the child wants to do a lot of things, right from wishing the principal and teacher and, wanting to talk about certain things. And we start with, will you please keep quiet? So that's the first killer, where we don't allow a child to speak. We don't allow a child to ask questions. Well, somebody told me in the last panel, extra marks. I've always been wondering why the name extra marks. And I didn't like the last Poonam, the thing where you said your child can get extra marks. Let's make a mark in learning. So let's get out of that bandwagon. So that's an old video because I know you too well. So, so marks. So what are schools meant for? We just finished the 12th and the 10th board exam, and soon Manila will be having the, the honors being given to the children, and the parents feeling like absolutely blessed that the child has passed through. And what are we really judging? We're judging the marks. How many of them are going to be innovators? How many of them are going to be creators? And the world sees that we haven't got anything new. So we are the killers. And how do we? You want the solution, obviously. We all know that we are the dragons. The solution is that learning has to change. And I do not call the technology as something which is killing creativity. Like she was telling that, the drawing, it actually empowers. But then give that freedom, give that thought process. So when we talk about all those trips all principals take to Finland, Why? Because they've allowed a child to be a child. They've allowed the school to be where a child can think absolutely divergently. Here we all want them to converge. We just want solutions. We just want marks. So the day we leave that, we become better. We allow the child to think, and to accept divergent views. So I think that's what will make us lesser killers.
Thank you, Angela ma'am. Very well said. You said that unless we become divergent, allowing child to be like that, so you cannot stop killing. Yes. So I would like principals to share their views on creativity.
Going by what Manjula ma'am was saying, it is actually a killer. What happens is when we talk of a collage, I've seen children who can wonderfully create digital collage, and you ask them to make a real collage, they cannot, they make a mess. I've seen teachers who come to the classroom and switch on the smart board because the contents are there. And either it is read out, but actual learning is not happening in the classrooms. We talk of activity-based learning, we talk of learning by doing, but yes, this technology is a killer. When we talk of innovativeness, we need to, of course, we need to go with technology. We have to go with the web. But when it is innovativeness, we have to allow the child, we have to allow the parents to think what is best out of a child. We do not allow them to develop their skills. We talk of AI, we talk of 21st century skills, but we do not allow them to develop the skills. It is because everything is in the technology. I have seen parents coming and saying, my child is Instagram. And the parents are following Instagram. Yes, there's nothing wrong in it, but we are moving away of innovativeness. Technology also is innovated. I'll tell you what has happened is, previously we used to have separate labs, bio lab, physics lab, chemistry lab. Now we have composite lab. In fact, I've seen schools where there is one room with computers, and every school now has smart boards. So that's a computer lab, that's a maths lab, that's a composite lab, because that's the virtual lab. Children are using that. So the touch, feel, that is gone. You know how the chemicals look like, how it feels. If you pour a little more, what happens? The actual feeling is not happening. So yes, technology has skilled. There are innovatives in technology, but of course it is skilled. It has not been balanced in the right way.
Yeah, better say the improper use of technology can kill creativity. So your view, sir?
My view is about the creativity of the technologies. I was most impressed by the words told by Tanuja ma'am. I liked it very much because we have to think of the technology, how the children are using. That is, whether they are using it for good or bad purpose. So whether it is good purpose means the creativity is built. If it is not used for the betterment of the kids, then the creativity is killed. So that is my policy. So not only technology, we can use various other ways to develop this creativity of the kids. There are various other ways, not only technologies. The children have their own views. For example, art and craft and all those things, that is not depending upon technology. They can use their own, and also teachers can give the ideas. And not only the technology, and they can get creativity rather than this technology also. So I'm not degrading the technology, but technology has also its good and bad sides. As Tanuja ma'am said, I am 100% I am supporting it.
Well said, but now the corporate CEOs, even the educationists feel that the single most decisive factor in this 21st century work culture or learning is creativity. There's no second thought about it. And we also agree that we don't support it. And we also know that if technology used in improper way, it can kill it further, worsen the problem. With all this background, what are the do's and don'ts for every school, for every teacher, the optimal use of available resources. And in 20th century, everybody talked about making the best use of resources. But now we are talking about self-awareness, managing the self. So how we can manage all this so that the creativity comes to the forefront?
This is the first panel that I'm attending. And really when our sir, I think so, Pawan, I think so, when he gave a call, and now also my legs are shivering because of course I got 28 years of experience as a head of the school, because when I heard about all your talk and all, now I have become a student in front of you. Now I came to know how I should, now I am 50 running, but now I thought of thinking that, lot of technologies are there, I have to improve a lot. So at the same time, the sir has given me one of the option, when we should use, when we should not use. Am I right, sir? Actually, the creativity has been built up for technology itself. Without creativity, the technology cannot be done. Am I right, sir? Because the technology, of course, according to sir told, I am not against the technology, but without creativity, the technology cannot be done. So at the same time, when we have to use, as the Manjula ma'am says that when the child comes to the school, the mother, when they want to talk, just they'll give a mobile. Instead of that, we have to start giving that. In our school, we used to use the lot of games, play games will be there. As soon as they come inside, we will just display all the things, balls and then cubes. A lot of things will be there. So naturally, the child will not come to my room. It will attract it and it will go and there. So the child will be engaged in that one. So this is how, I think, according to me, the parents has to be done. At the same time, the teachers also. In our school also, whenever we want, we can use it, the technologies. But whenever the creativity, for example, the project. Nowadays, project means immediately the child will go home, Amma, I want to go for this thing, internet, because madam has given me the project I want to complete. And the time span what we have given, the teacher will give hardly 2 days or 3 days. So it is nothing but buy and take system. But when we are the children, we used to go to library and we used to collect. So then only we came to know it. So who are all the scientists? And where an encyclopedia book was there. But now if you ask encyclopedia with the children, they know encyclopedia, this thing, but they don't know the book. Because my daughter also now she's working. When she received that project, ma'am gave this thing project today. Then in my school, when I was as a teacher before 22 years back, I went in and ran to my library to get the encyclopedia books. And we used to read each and every titles, and I used to underline it. And then I asked my daughter to read this and then write about it. Now not like that. With the help of one click, we'll get it. So I think so here, I think so the creativity is not working, sir. But at the same time, and moreover, during olden days, not on that, when I was as a teacher, we used to give time for the children. But according to sir till now, the father will come in a midnight and mother will come, and naturally the child will be in board or something and all. So the father and mother naturally they want to make, because in case if the child won't bring the project, they will get from the teacher. So what the parents will do, okay, go, you get the something. Then they will be doing. So creativity, according to me, whenever I request all the teachers and to give a very easy project, which will be getting in the textbooks. So at least by the textbook they will get. So there we can use the creativity. But now without technology, I can understand because of the time schedule, 100% they will go for that.
I think the question you asked was improper use of technology. And
What are the do's and don'ts?
of course, like technology is definitely a boon. We wouldn't deny it in any way as such. But when it comes to the usage of technology, we can always teach the child how much of technology is required, where is it required, and when is it required. That is, I think, which is very much essential. For example, if I have to teach about a plant, I can still start off with the chalk and board method. wherein I have to draw the plant and show where to start and where to end. And that is when the child really gets an idea of like how to draw it across and what are the parts of it. It gets that awareness, the basic awareness of what are the parts of the plant and all those things. Then you can always show them the plants. Any school you go, definitely they have a lot of plants around. So you can definitely take them there, show them, okay, this is a hard stem, this is a soft stem, or this is how a shrub looks, a herb looks, and all these things. So that is again complemented with a practical way of learning. And after that, when I say the roots of a plant absorbs, I cannot expect my child to imagine absorption. I think that is where I have to bring in technology. I can show them a video and say, okay, this is how a root absorbs. And that becomes so intact, a kind of way of learning, wherein child gets the knowledge in a way that, like, when we come up to the PU level again, we speak about ascent of sap. So that is something which we have learned in the beginning of our studies itself, but probably we don't remember that, okay, this is what ascent of sap is actually about. So there we end up by hearting. So that is something, I think, when we bring about these kind of differentiations, like even when we are teaching, this is the way we can use technology. If we can, teach our teachers in the initial stages itself, like this is what, I mean, somebody was talking about the boards. They just come to the classroom, switch on the boards and teach. Of course, it is helping us. A teacher should always believe that I am the boss of my class. I am the owner of my subject. Only then this technology becomes an advantage for the teacher. But these days, it has become the other way. Anybody who can stand before the class, look at the board and explain something can become a teacher. So I think technology, this is the improper use of technology. Yeah.
Mentioned to a level we should not touch technology where we encourage children to think, but wherein we are not able to give the clarity, use the technology. Thank you. The one last question. We have seen great creations have happened with one common quality, which is grit, determination, not living, not giving up. It is almost common in almost great scientists, inventors. How can we develop that quality in children? The determination, not giving up, which is mother of all creations. Obviously, it's completely human. No technology can give that.
Accepting errors as your fuel. We have a society which is zero tolerant to mistakes. So the moment we accept that mistakes are there for learning, I think determination comes. Who is a determined person? Who will be tenacious to keep on doing and failing and then getting up and doing again. So I suppose the first thing, the bottom line is that we must accept that mistake is the ladder to success, and not success is a ladder to a success, because no success comes without mistakes. So I suppose that is what.
Thank you. It was very nice interacting with you all, Ms. Sharmila, Ms. Manjula. I'm happy to be part of this. Thanks, Extra Marks and EduTV for